and welcome back to another day of Omega. We're picking up on our last subject. I'm Maybeth.
I'm Evan.
I'm Gabriel.
And I'm Angel.
So, back on our last topic from about 2 days ago, we were talking about Aaron Hernandez. He was a tight end for the New England Patriots, so he was a professional football player playing in the NFL, and he was convicted of murder against a semi-pro athlete, Odin Lloyd, was it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Who was honestly he was his kind of like a best friend or like a good friend, right?
They were family.
Yeah, they were.
Or about to be, because he was his fiance's sister's husband.
They were
It's
family.
kind of difficult, yeah.
Might want to rewind that if you didn't get that.
Well, today, what do you guys have for us? You have his childhood, right?
Yeah, okay, so a little bit, a couple days ago we kind of got into it, but not really. So now we have, so let's get right into it. So Aaron Hernandez, he grew up in Bristol, Connecticut. And it says in the documentary that everyone thought he had a difficult life, or it wasn't extremely difficult to begin with. It was just a simple life, we're in Bristol, it was just a normal high school, nothing rarely ever happened. If you went there, a lot of big names were produced. You were destined to go to a 4-year college, or so where he was set, where he was put, he was destined to be.
So you
something.
think it's a misconception that he came from a bad background?
Oh yeah, we'll get a little bit more into that. Okay, so his parents, Dennis Hernandez and Terry Hernandez. Okay, so Dennis Hernandez, I think I said that in the last episode. Everyone loved him. He was considered the king. He was a former. I know he went to college. He played at UConn, but I can't exactly remember if he played in the NFL or not. But he was regardless. He was a big name. Everyone who he was he was very well respected in his community. And then Terry Hernandez, growing up, her and Aaron, they had a very close relationship.
That's his mom, right?
Yeah, that's his mom. They had a very close relationship. Nothing extremely out of the ordinary, you know. But so he also had a brother, DJ Hernandez, and they weren't too far apart in age. So both of them grew up playing football together, and it wasn't just football either. It was basketball, any sport that they could do, they were doing.
They grew up playing
Yeah,
sports,
but
basically.
Yeah.
they both went on to play football at the higher levels. That's what they're known for. So, and then going into that, since Dennis Hernandez was a football player, you know that since his children wanted to continue that,
Yeah.
he went hard on them. He made them, every time they dropped a pass, it was a numerous amount of push-ups. He went hard.
I remember, but one time, my mom and her mom were cheerleaders, right? Big cheerleaders. And whenever I would not point my toe in a jump or something like that, I had to do crunches or something like that. One time I remember I fell from the top of a pyramid, and I had to run 2 laps or something like that. Which is not bad, but I was also 6 years old.
Yeah, you're just trying to do it to have fun, to play the game, and when you have a father who's very up there.
Yeah, I stopped inviting my mom to presentations and stuff like that.
Yeah, so he had the constant pressure, to be great, to be even, but he didn't really think about it because he loved the game of football so much. And so on the football field, he was just an absolute star.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that. We keep getting a phone call, but
Don't try it.
you want me to keep on going?
Yeah.
Okay, so he knew the plays inside and out. He knew he knew not only his place for his position, but everyone else was supposed to be, where he was supposed to be. He just everything he knew. He was Albert Einstein of football, on the football field. That's what they said in the documentary. and like he was just like a star, like and his father passed away when he was, I believe, 16, and of course that took a huge toll on him. Like he like having your father like pass away at like that young of an age when you're just barely like getting noticed by like colleges, like he pushed you to become like a athlete just all around. Exactly. So like that took a huge toll on him, but luckily he had his friends and like.
I remember on the documentary it talks about this. One of his friends came and picked him up, and they just drove around, just being like, okay, like like it's gonna be fine. And they say that at his funeral, like at his father's funeral, he had like no expression, like just no feeling on his face, which I thought it was rather like somber, like it was like kind of scary, because they said like at his funeral he was just like.
Yeah, like it was just a lot of people like got into that too, like as to why like he wasn't like and stuff like that. But of course everyone deals with like emotion differently.
Yeah.
So like that's the case right there. And he had so just his father like passing away, and then as soon as when his dad left, his mom grew like him and his mom grew distant. I know like a couple months right after his dad died, she got with another man. And
a family man, like someone in their family. It was like
the husband of like their cousin or something along those lines. So like they knew them, like it wasn't like just like some new person. So like you got everything taken into consideration, like it hit him hard. And that ultimately, okay, so he went to a football camp at like a young age. I think he was like in middle school or something, and he went to UConn. Like he went to a pro football camp there. Like that's their dream school. Like his father went there, his brother was playing quarterback there, and like it was like so it was his turn like to go, and he was ready for it. And he got the scholarship while he was there. He outplayed everybody that was there, and like so he committed that day. He was like, okay, like I'm going to go to UConn. Like after his father passed, like everything that was going on with his mom, he decided to take a trip to Florida, the University of Florida, Florida Gators, and no one saw that coming. Like it was an absolute surprise to everyone. So everyone thought he was going to go to UConn. Like it was set in stone. And when he visited there, his mind changed. He was like, you know what? This is where I belong.
Because I know he got the scholarship at 14?
Yeah, he got it at like 14.
Yeah.
Like, your dream school at 14, of course you're gonna like commit to it,
Yeah, and then a few years later, he was like, you know what? I've been dreaming about this moment, but never mind. Yeah, we're Gators now. Yeah,
he said, you know what? Like, let's go to Florida. Like, let's see. And then huge star athletes were going there too, like Tim Tebow. There's just so many. There was so much talent like on that roster. I know Riley Cooper, I believe, was there. Just a bunch of different like names.
I remember them saying that he knew he had to play his heart out every single game, because if he did one bad game, one bad pass, one bad anything, there was someone big behind waiting to like take his place.
There was no room for error.
Yeah.
And he stepped up to the plate. Like I said, he was just a gifted athlete. Like he didn't really need. Like he just had everything. Like he had everything, so he didn't really have to worry about.
I don't know if you have seen him. He's back there. He's this one. You can't really see his body except for that picture, but he's big and broad, like you would expect a football player to be. But he was also very light on his feet, so he was really, really fast, and he had the ability to tackle someone and then run 40 yards. Like he had that. He was just a gifted athlete.
And then it came out like during the documentary, like a little, like no one really knew, but it came out that actually his dad, there was more issues going on that no one knew about. His dad would oftentimes come home like drunk, just like completely like out of it, and he would start yelling at his mom, like just like he was very abusive during that time, and he would like bash her head against like the bathroom sink.
There was this one incident that I remember very clearly, and if you're uncomfortable with any like assault or any like violence settings, you can skip ahead. But they said that Dennis came home very, very intoxicated, and that him and his mom started fighting, and she was essentially telling him to like get out, like if he was gonna act like that way, and that he took her to the bathroom and started bashing her head against the sink until the sink broke and she fell unconscious on the floor. And this was in front of both of their kids, DJ and Aaron, and they were both very young. I think they were like 9 and 7 or something. Yeah.
Before we run out of time, Gabriel, Gavin, like, how do you think that it affected like the like leading up to like to the murders? Like his childhood had an effect on how he thought and like his thought process on that.
I mean, due to him seeing his father mistreat his mother, that I do believe that is a big, like, how do you say it?
Contributor.
Yeah, it's a big contribute to how it affects him in the future, and that's probably one of the main reasons why he wanted to hurt people, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, go.
your childhood is always gonna determine how you're gonna live the rest of your life.
Like the type of person you are.
Yeah.
I think since there's a lot of research, I've read a lot about serial killers. To me, the serial killer, like just their brain, is very fascinating. But who you are as a kid and what you live as a kid, it really determines how you're gonna be in your life. Because many serial killers at a young age, they kill animals, and they just a lot like John Gane, what's his name? Stacy, I think. He suffered a head injury. I think Ted Bundy had a head injury. The killer clown had a head injury. There's just like forced head trauma. And what do you see in a football player that played from like Pee Wee football? Head
Trauma.
injuries, head trauma. And that's what